It's a great pleasure to welcome Deon Koegelenberg, who is the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer at Agile Bridge, who joins us for this episode of What's Next. Deon, good to see you. Welcome, man.
Thank you, Aki.
I mean, you've been listening to me on the radio for many years, as you said earlier.
Yes.
It makes me feel a bit old, but I'm glad that we both had the same passion for where the world is with technology. Eh?
100%.
Yeah.
I followed you from AM right through to FM.
Wow, that is going back a long time. But listen, a long time as well, you know, considering the tech industry, how fast it moves. You have been the CEO of Agile Bridge since 2019. Now, what is Agile Bridge? Who is Agile Bridge and what exactly do you do?
We're a software development company. We've been in business for 23 years.
Okay.
It's been a small boutique firm up until 2019. When I took over the role as CEO, we had big aspirations to grow and to become a multinational service offering company. We've had some clients overseas at that time.
Yes.
2019 was a great time to take over a business because obviously COVID hit in 2020.
Exactly. And everybody this whole digitization happened so fast, right?
So you have all the strategy plan, you've got all the boards and everything running, and then all of a sudden the whole world changes. And we are very blessed and lucky that 2020 was actually a very big year for us, because then all of a sudden, when the world came to almost standstill, the guys with the vision said, now we're doing digital transformation. People started working from home, people started using more apps, started using more devices, and that actually catapulted our first growth spurt into what we are now as a software company.
But I mean, you must have seen it coming, right? I mean, COVID accelerated it, yes, but when you just see Moore's Law, for example, as you and I have been following over the years, that computing power, the cloud, AI, you could see it from a distance coming towards us, but COVID just accelerated it for everyone.
Yeah, 100%. COVID was definitely an accelerator. And yes, I mean, what we're seeing now happening in the world is just the next wave. And I think we've both seen a couple of waves happen in our career.
Yes, but we haven't quite seen anything like this. And it excites me immensely, the possibilities. And, you know, every organization is focusing on AI. It's not a catchphrase. This is the reality that's happening right now. Some organizations have been caught off the back foot. They haven't transitioned fast enough. Some of them are spending money unnecessarily without the right, the right structures in place, the right strategy in place. But certainly AI is happening all around us. How are you seeing organizations adapting to the AI changes that are happening? Are they adapting?
Yes, some are at the forefront of adoption. Some of them are leading. I mean, we're an enterprise service provider, so we follow the banks and the financial institutions and the multinationals. But I think let's just take a step back. We can focus on the granular details of AI, and most of the podcasts and talks we see is about that. But if you've observed this industry, being in a helicopter and looked from the top and see where the congestion are and how traffic moves, if you observe tech like that, you'll see there's certain patterns that repeats itself.
Yes.
I mean, look at what broadband did to dial-ups.
Yeah.
And now what AI is doing to intelligence. You see these patterns. I mean, dial-up brought broadband brought websites and emails. Emails became websites, cloud, social media. And this is just another wave. This one is different. But this wave is a technology wave that will, again, give people time back, will give more intelligence, will give abundance of some sort of technology. And I think leaders in the business should try and look at the patterns repeating and use that and apply that in whichever granular or technical form.
So what AI is doing, and I like what you said now, that it's giving people time back because of the speed and what it can do, and it's almost augmenting us, right? So it's making businesses better if applied correctly, and us as individuals. I mean, I look at how I use it in my day-to-day life, and businesses are using it as well, but it's actually making us all do things better.
So let's pause on that for a moment. You can be better because you apply more time on stuff.
Yes.
So just listen to the time thing. I mean, when we did dial-ups, you waited about 30 seconds for a dial-up to complete. You actually called the modem, dialed, connected, downloaded, disconnected. So I've done some math. In my career, I must have spent 45 days in full waiting for a dial-up connection. That's equivalent to 3 years worth of leave just in waiting for the connection to happen.
So, I mean, who works these things out, Deon? You got way too much time on your hand to work out this. So if you used AI to help you.
If I did. If you look at what broadband did to that time, so what have I done since dial-up with that 45 extra days? It made me better in other tasks, cognitive tasks or repeatable tasks. So AI is bringing that same time saving to us. If you have abundance of connectivity, things will happen, website, email, social media.
Yes.
If you have abundance of intelligence, imagine what will happen. So it's going to save time, and it's going to give us all time to do other things or be at a higher cognitive level or apply that to business. And you're quite right. So AI brings betterness through giving you more time.
But you know what's interesting? Like when you look back in the day, and I'm glad you used the dial-up connectivity and the data connectivity, because back then that was expensive to do, right? Not everybody could have the same kind of speeds and if you wanted to have speed, 10, 15 years ago, it would cost you a lot of money as a business.
Yes.
Today, AI is kind of almost like a leveler. It's been democratized. So everyone has the same kind of access to today's technology at the same price. So if that is the case, how do you as a business then differentiate yourself?
I think differentiating yourself will be found in this journey. I don't have a clear answer or silver bullet there. But the pattern of abundance, if you look at the coal industry, when coal became abundant, it became more cheaper, and people thought the industry will disappear. But what actually happened, it enabled combustion engines.
Yes.
Combustion engines is a symptom of having coal.
Right.
Mass transport and things is a symptom of abundance of energy.
Yeah.
So if we have an abundance of intelligence, I think the world is your playground. I think business will figure this out. The dial-up sample, you had to take an action to get to dial-up.
Correct.
Now you just assume being connected. So currently you actually activate your AI tool, and you have to prompt it to ask it. It's an activity. But this will very soon become an assumption. You'll just assume that AI is part of what you do. And therein lies, I think, the competitive advantage of organizations, leaders, knowing this is coming and planning beyond that line, not planning for the immediate interaction of AI.
So how do organizations interact with Agile Bridge? So I'm a big multinational, for example. I need help with my AI strategy, the implementation. I come to Agile Bridge. How do you assist me unlocking even more value?
Yeah, I mean, so we develop software, and we create features, and we create systems of value for our clients. Our clients have these dreams, and you must have heard the term backlog, and there's always a backlog in these big organizations. And what we do is we don't see AI or agentic as a competition. It's an amplifier for what we do.
Right.
So we can now help organizations to amplify and excel or accelerate their features and their dreams. Stafford Macy recently said in the interview that it's not reducing jobs, it's actually making jobs cheaper, and then 10x or 100x the ability to deliver what organizations want. And I think that's the value that Agile Bridge sees and brings to organizations, help them to accelerate that through AI and helping them adopt it.
So I would come to Agile Bridge and I say, Deon, we're struggling with finding a solution to this particular issue, in whether it be in automation or whether it's be on the production floor. You can design a specific piece of software to integrate with my existing stack that I've got, and add the layers of AI to make it function a lot better, right? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, coming back to what you said earlier, is that you're buying time, right? You want to add more value. You want to unlock value in your organization.
I think what Agile does really well is that the culture that we've nurtured in the last 8 or 9 years is we've been attracting the top talent, specifically in South Africa. And having the top talent enables you to be extremely sharp in delivering what businesses want. Yes, we fit in the SDLC, we fit into the whole delivery cycle, but having the top talent just accelerates that and brings the best minds in the country to your project or to your company.
You see, that's a very big differentiator, because I'm now tapping into that talent in an organization to help me find solutions, because you're not niched and you say, oh, we only offer this and we can do this. Now I'm tapping into an entire, network of minds at Agile Bridge that is tremendously beneficial to me as an organization in finding a solution to my problem.
Yeah, I think to that point, we're not generalists.
Yes.
We see ourselves as craftsmen. That's our culture.
Yeah.
We nurture craftsmen, and we've got these vertical specialization portions in the business.
Yes.
But when a company uses us, they might use us for one specific, let's say, mobile app, but they've got the backing of all those other specializations and or almost Borg mind thinking.
Yes.
We bring a lot of velocity to problems to clients.
Without naming a client, and you've obviously got different clients and you've worked across many different industries, give us a typical example of a recent solution that you guys were involved with.
You do so many projects in 23 years, Aki.
Yeah.
I think, again, as a business manager, I like to look at the patterns and how that can influence what we do. There's definitely a pattern of new market entry. There's definitely clients that go into Southeast Asia, goes into Europe, goes into UK, goes into the Americas. And although you've got one core product, new market entry is almost like a new product for every territory. So multi-territory, multi-language, multi-currency is something that I think we're quite good at. But that's a pattern that's definitely where we've solved a lot of problems for our clients. And I'm talking about Fortune 500 countries that uses us for that work.
That's interesting. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Today organizations are, we talk about the really big organizations. You cannot be focused on just one country. You've got to look at that global expansion, because this is what this technology allows you to do, right? It breaks down barriers. And actually, to your point earlier, it really helps organizations expand faster into these territories that you wouldn't have been able to do as fast as, say, 20 years ago.
Yeah, 100%. Acceleration, time and acceleration is definitely the thing. I think something that companies don't know yet is what the end winner will be in this new world. When we invented or took part in the establishment of the internet,
yes,
or when we transferred from fax to email, we don't know, as we evolve in this AI wave, what the winners will be. We now know that WhatsApp is winning communication on a small level, on a granular level.
Yes.
We don't know what's happening with AI yet. We don't know where that's going yet. So it's finding our way there in this journey.
Wow. But where is this going, Deon? You spoke about agentic AI. That's the next phase. Then we're going to get a human-like AI coming, and that's coming sooner than we think it is coming. And it's so difficult to predict what it's going to be like in 2030. But where are we going?
I'll tell you what I think. And again, I'm applying pattern thinking, seeing what Waves has done. And I'll also tell you what I think is different with this wave. So we've come from being always connected, enriching the internet with social media, crypto, data, cloud happened.
Yes.
And now we've got all this data, intelligence was born, AI is now with us, Agentic has been developed in the last couple of months. And the next phase, I would think, and I'm smiling because I'm thinking about the robotics Olympics that just happened and all the failures, but the extension of intelligence and AI with an automation, and the first thought that comes up is little humanoids, but it's not that. It's intelligence in automation.
Yes.
And in robotics. And then from robotics, the next phase would definitely be, where's the human in the loop? With this technology change, the human has always been in the loop, right? We've been instructing cell phones, we've been instructing the computers, and we've been dealing with the exceptions. So, jobs didn't get lost. We just went up one stack and dealing with exceptions. What we take as for granted, a copper line working, we only deal with it when it breaks, compared to where people used to deliver paper letters. So now we're teaching AI and automation to deal with the exceptions. So that's the question I think is unanswered. What will humans do in a non-exception handling world going forward?
But I also think that organizations need to change their approach with their humans. I'm talking about people that work in these organizations, on how those people look at AI. Because if you do not apply yourself and you don't learn about AI and how to incorporate AI in your day-to-day transactions that you're doing and your day-to-day workflows, you're going to be left behind. So organizations need to get those people upskilled to be able to cope and deal with AI. Because if you don't, and as a worker in any organization, if you don't take an open-minded approach to AI, you're not going to have a job.
Yeah.
And that's where jobs are going to get lost. It's that approach, that attitude of people that say, well, I'm going to carry on doing things like I did them 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think business leaders need to think of it as not the action of using AI, but the assumption that we've got abundance of intelligence.
Yes.
And put their strategic future position as organization that assume, like we did, we assume everybody will have internet all the time. We don't think about that. We need to assume that we've got abundance of intelligence all the time. And how do you future-proof your business having that mindset?
How do you do that to Agile Bridge? How do you future-proof Agile Bridge against your competitors? Because you're an organization that needs to stay not one step, but like 5 steps ahead of what's happening.
Yeah.
And you need to employ the best minds. You need to have the best network of engineers around the world. How do you future-proof yourselves?
Yeah. So, I mean, you're asking the question that a lot of our clients ask us. And a lot of CEOs and CTOs come to us and say, listen, how do we do this? So in Agile Bridge, we're lucky enough that we've got a playful, curious culture. And we've nurtured that from the beginning. So we've got guys that informally and formally keep on being curious, play, fail fast, bring the lessons back. And we encourage it. We pay for it. We invest back in our people so that we are one step ahead.
Yeah.
And that playfulness brings back structured plans and frameworks that we can implement and teach our customers. We are learning lessons early and bring them back and apply that to our clients so they don't have to pay for those lessons.
Yeah. You mentioned multinationals and global expansion, but here in South Africa, you look at the talent pool that we've got and you look at where we are in this, AI landscape that we're playing in. We actually, market leaders in many cases when it comes to, software development, AI development across the globe.
Yeah, I've got a great story. In early 2019, we had quite a project in Singapore, and we were invited to a meeting, and we sat there in Marina Bay in one of these high towers. And as the people started walking in, there were about 7 people in the meeting, and the only person not from South Africa were the guy calling the meeting from Standard Chartered Bank. And as we sat there, we realized we're all from South Africa. Some of them were residents of Singapore. Some of them were visiting from other countries. We as Agile Bridge were visiting from South Africa. And it was quite a joke. Not a joke, and it's funny, but it just sends there that the export product or the ability for South Africa to innovate and apply what we have here to the rest of the world is top-notch. We deal with so many other things in South Africa, but we've actually got an extremely high-performing technical ability that we can offer the world from South Africa.
That's amazing. Well, listen, Deon, absolute congratulations to you and your organization. It sounds like Agile Bridge is doing incredible things. You really understand the industry and you've got the right solutions that you can offer your customers. It's just about understanding your customer's business. And this is the key. A lot of organizations that are out there come in and they advise and this, but they actually don't understand the business that the customer is in and what they're trying to achieve. My final question to you is that, is every business going to become a technology AI business, or are they going to be in the business of manufacturing something or in the finance business? Or is AI going to make every business a technology business?
Every business will have some sort of AI capability. Whether they'll frame themselves as a technology business, I don't know. But it's definitely going to be an AI-enabled business in some form or manner. We know our customers good enough. It's not a transactional relationship. It's a partnership. So our first customer from 2003 is still our customer. We know these businesses intimately. And they all get enabled by technology. I don't think every business is going to be transforming or seeing themselves as a technology business, but a technology-enabled business.
Yes.
But we'll see what's next. I'm looking forward to the next couple of years in this industry. It's going to be crazy.
And this is why you're on What's Next. Thank you very much for joining us. Certainly, technology is just super exciting right now. And you've just heard about what AI is doing and how technology is just enabling organizations to unlock tremendous value. And that's exactly what Agile Bridge does. So Deon Koegelenberg, the Chief Executive Officer at Agile Bridge, thank you for joining us for this episode of What's Next.